Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11. A recent study claims Alpena is one of the most tax-friendly places for retirees in Michigan. Plus, a mechanical error caused a fire at a local apartment. And students at Thunder Bay Junior High participated in Team Day. We'll have those stories plus your local weather and sports. WBKB News at 11 starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between. This is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. We are your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Neil Lewanig. According to a recent study from Smart Asset, Alpena is one of the most tax-friendly places for retirees in Michigan. After looking at over 2,500 cities across the United States, the New York-based financial technology company found Michigan as a state does well in retirement tax friendliness, and Alpena is 9th in the state. The company looked into a few different things to determine this, including income taxes, property taxes, and if Social Security income is taxed in that area. If you're looking to keep your taxes as low as can be when you retire, the results show Alpena would be a place to consider with over a 92% in retirement tax friendliness.
It can be helpful to kind of look at what are the factors, what are you saving your money for, what are your expenses going to be in retirement, and that can help you determine, if you have a choice of where you're going to live in retirement, you can pick a place that maybe better matches your financial situation.
There are many ways to get to the retirement you want, whether that means saving more now or living in a lower tax area. If you would like to see the Smart Asset survey of the most tax-friendly retirement locations, you can visit smartasset.com. The Huron Humane Society is going through some major changes to upgrade their facility. New additions at the Humane Society include 6 dog kennels along with a new cat colony, which features an outdoor patio. In conjunction with the new cat colony and kennels, the Society also received refurbished furniture such as tables, windows, and doors. Without the tremendous support from the community and local businesses, these building upgrades would not have been possible. The Huron Humane Society is thankful for all the help they've received and looks forward to continuing with renovating the facility.
The community always steps forward. They are huge, compassionate and generous. Whenever we are asking or letting them know what's going out at the shelter, we always have people come forward and help us out here. So a lot of animal lovers in this community, and we appreciate that.
If you'd like to help and support with the Humane Society's construction plans, please visit the HuronHumaneSociety.org or call the number on your screen. This afternoon, firefighters from the City Fire Department Alpena Township were dispatched to an apartment fire at Carriage House Senior Apartments. According to Fire Chief Bill Forbush, there was a fire that occurred in the mechanical room. He says a workman was working on the pipes when he accidentally struck the insulation and wood that was nearby on fire. The entire building was evacuated and the residents were moved into a command post bus while they waited to avoid the cold weather.
Crews responded immediately, were able to control the fire, contain it to the room there. There is, however, some water damage and smoke damage in the area immediately around that portion of the first floor.
The fire was ruled accidental and was completely taken care of. WBKB 11 meteorologist Adam Claiborne is here with the first look at the weather. Adam?
All right, well, good evening to you, Neil. I know it was cold today, especially for you being from the West Coast. Well, it's just the beginning, and we saw 40s throughout the day for us and winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now, those are beginning to weaken a bit. We're at 7, but still we're seeing gusts up there closer to 15 and 20. And our temperatures are in those middle 40s and mostly cloudy, but we should drop into the 30s as we head throughout the remainder of the night and possibly see even a few of those snowflakes. Now, temperatures across the country, you'll notice more of those lower 50s back into Minneapolis. 50 degrees in Chicago, but that cooler air is working its way southward and quickly, and we're going to be noticing also with the moisture in place, it will mix into play with the cold air, and that's when we'll start to see more of that mixture. But right now, just seeing that lake effect come on all across Lake Superior and on Lake Michigan. So for us, yeah, we'll be watching for the flakes, but probably won't see it that many, but either way, it will be exciting. Tomorrow, another cold afternoon with isolated mixture still in place for us. And as we head later on into the weekend and on into the beginning of next work week, are we going to expect anything to warm up? Well, we'll have that answer and a complete look at your 7-day forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Adam. The Michigan Supreme Court reappointed Circuit Judge Michael G. Mack as the chief judge for the trial courts for a 2-year term commencing January 1st, 2016. Judge Mack is currently in the first year of his second 6-year term as the circuit judge for Alpena and Montmorency counties. The Supreme Court went to a single chief judge system 2 years ago. Judge Mack says that he reapplied for the position in August because he has thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 years. Although the court has been faced with many challenges, he believes they have handled all of them well and can continue to bring justice and peace to the city.
The county's funding units have to have one person to come to and express their concerns about the operation of the court and how much it's costing. The judges have to have one person to come to. And
Judge Mack says this decision is more expansive and is actively pursues the state court's goal of a one-trial court and that administratively it is important for one person to make the decisions. The students at Thunder Bay Junior High participated in Team Day today in hopes of bringing them all together and helping them work better as a unit. All the students and staff worked together to build relationships by participating in a variety of activities. The students were divided in 2 teams by grade 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, 8A, and 8B. The goal of this day is to build strong, supportive relationships amongst the team members and the staff that work with each team. A few of the activities included team-building activities such as kickball and brush maintenance. There was also a reality fair put on by the Alpena-Alcona Credit Union for the students to act as if they had real jobs and learn how to manage their finances.
If a student has a really good relationship with their teacher or with other staff members here in the building, it makes their educational goals a lot more clearer to them, and they can really, they work harder and they can just become better students.
The students participate in this activity twice a year in hopes that they form healthy relationships with their classmates and teachers. You may not know it, but Sports Unlimited is still in business despite sudden setbacks. Today, we were there to see how they're maintaining their business.
Last month's fire may have destroyed the building Sports Unlimited lived in, but it couldn't bring down the business's spirits.
Business is normal. You know, I guess I'm that kind of a person. My family's that kind of family that we have a job to do and we're doing it.
A large sign outside the family-owned business on US 23 reads, "We are open," letting the public know that owner Doreen Kriniak and her family are maintaining their day-to-day operations out of some of their top-selling Jayco trailers.
We're in business. Our phone number hasn't changed. Our address hasn't changed yet, but it will be shortly.
The public will soon be able to see a new Sports Unlimited being constructed just 3 driveways down on the opposite side of 23 after the remains of the burnt building are torn down on Monday. The new Sports Unlimited will have everything the old had.
We're going to be able to display snowmobiles and sell snowmobiles and service snowmobiles, helmets, boots, DNR stickers, everything we've done before.
It'll also feature a larger customer service area equipped with some special treats.
And the one most important part I'm going to have is a popcorn machine.
When Kriniak and her family first learned of the fire at their business, it was a shock, but there was no question in whether or not the tragedy would halt their business.
I didn't feel like I had a choice. I knew that, number one, my employees needed a job. Number two, Alpena needed someplace to have their RVs winterized. And number three, what else was I going to do? You know, I've worked every day since I was probably 16 years old, and it's my life.
Kriniak would like to thank all the firefighters, the Salvation Army, and the local businesses who have helped Sports Unlimited through this whirlwind of a time.
There are some things that have happened that have touched our family, and I'll never ever forget it. It's just a page in my book, and we will be back and we'll be better.
Lindsay DeLucia, WBKB News.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online. Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night. We'll check back in with meteorologist Adam Claiborne a little later for your full weather forecast. Plus, find out why Yahoo is looking to get rid of passwords. All that and more, next. Welcome back. In your Money Watch, Target wants to make its own store cards safer. Chip and PIN cards will replace magnetic strips on Target Red credit and debit cards. Customers will also have to enter a PIN to approve transactions. The personal information of up to 70 million Target shoppers was exposed in 2013 after a massive data breach at the retailers. Are passwords a thing of the past? Yahoo thinks so. The website is eliminating passwords altogether with a feature called Yahoo Account Key. Users can link their tablets or smartphones to a Yahoo app. The site will recognize the person's email and send a push notification to their phone to log in. And for most Lucky Charms cereal lovers, the marshmallows are the best part. Now picture an entire box with nothing but rainbow-colored marshmallows. Singer Biz Markie even reworked the lyrics to his hit Just a Friend for the sweepstakes, where participants can win one of 10 available boxes. Cereal lovers have to send a picture via social media holding an imaginary box with the hashtag Lucky Charms between October 14th and 18th. There's still much more to come on WBKB News. John Scheidler and Kyle Logan will be in for tonight's Fifth Down. But first, Adam Claybon is next with their full weather forecast. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Adam Claybon has been keeping an eye on the weather for us. Adam?
All right, well, thanks, Neil, again. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we'll be expecting for the overnight. Yes, watching for a few flakes, but that is it. And we've already seen just a few across the area, especially as you head farther to the west where that lake effect is able to get that snow actually all the way down here to the ground, and that moisture does linger. But as it eventually works its way over to us, just a few clouds right along the shorelines. But we'll continue to keep a chance, at least, in the forecast throughout tonight, and even as we head into tomorrow, where we might get a bit of an increase in that activity, so that might help us just a bit as we head into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. But it will be another cold day with highs in those middle 40s, and then as we head on into our forecast on Sunday, well, the chill, it will retreat off to the north, but only slightly, expecting highs still to remain in those 40s before we head into next work week, and we'll see more of those 50s. But here's a look at where we are right now, seeing more of those 40s and even 30s as you head farther to the north and west. 39 in Gaylord, 41 as you head back into Escanaba, and 38 in Iron Mountain, but 40s right along the shoreline in Alpena, Oscoda, and Rogers City. 41 right now in Houghton Lake, and that colder air hasn't quite made its way all the way south yet, as they are still seeing the lower 50s. Current winds coming in from that westerly direction, 9 in Oscoda, 10 in the Houghton Lake, and at 6 right now in Pellston, but gusts are even higher than this at the moment. And here's a look at your current radar. Right here you'll see that all the showers continuing to work their way in, but still seeing more of that pink and blue beginning to show up as of late, and we'll see this on and off as we head into the evening. Mostly going to be blue as you go farther off to the west, which will represent the snow, but as you head farther eastwards, we'll probably see more of that pinks, but a lot of that moisture doesn't even work its way all the way to the shoreline, so very low chances as you get closer to the shoreline. As you go farther inland, chances are going to be better for you for seeing that mixture. But as we take a look at our FutureCast model, throughout the night, continuing to have that chance in place for us, but we'll see the clouds stay in place throughout the entire night. Even as we head into Saturday, a break between the clouds for a short moment. Most of the snow well off to our west right here, where they'll be looking out for some of those minor accumulations. But eastward, just a few snowflakes for us. Not expecting any accumulations at all before we head into tomorrow night and early Sunday morning. It starts to push out of here. We'll get a last opportunity for seeing those snowflakes right then, but then seeing a lot more of that sun on into Sunday evening and on into Sunday night. We look to remain clear. Tonight we're going to drop down to 32 degrees, cold with sprinkles or isolated flurries on the way for us. Winds out of the northwest between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, spotty areas of rain and snow with winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. 43 in Hillman, at 42 in Atlanta, 44 in Hubbard Lake, and seeing more of those middle 40s as you head farther south in Lincoln and in Harrisville, while seeing lower 40s in Rose City, Mile, and in Fairview. We'll start off at 32 tomorrow morning into the afternoon, 44 degrees for your high, and tomorrow night dropping down into the upper 20s at 28 degrees, but we do warm up into the upper 40s. We're seeing more of that sun on Sunday. Monday, slight chance of rain comes in with highs returning to the 50s, and we'll stay in the 50s Monday through next Friday.
All right, thanks, Adam. Now it's time for today's Photo of the Day. Today's photo is a special one that we had to showcase. This one is sent in by our own Erica Fernandez. This is a photo of Erica's dog, Sammy, who may be used to the Texas weather, but is certainly loving our beautiful pure Michigan fall. Look at this little guy. He's having a blast out there. If you have a photo you would like to send us, email along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com. In national news, a massive cleanup effort is underway to reopen several major highways in Southern California after mudslides stranded hundreds of cars and trapped some drivers. Thursday's storm triggered flash floods throughout the area about 75 miles north of downtown Los Angeles. Chris Martinez has more.
Crews are scrambling to clear mud from Interstate 5 north of Los Angeles. A portion of the highway, typically congested with traffic, is nearly empty. Geologists and other experts are inspecting the roads and nearby hillsides to ensure the interstate is safe.
¿Alguien habla en 911? Help!
A violent storm triggered flash floods Thursday that transformed busy streets into a river of mud.
Are we stuck? Yeah, we're stuck.
Firefighters rescued dozens of people trapped in their cars and homes.
I've been out here for 24 years now, and I've never seen this much water in 24 years. I really can't tell how fast that's moving and how safe it is.
Hundreds of vehicles litter several highways across Southern California.
That includes here on State Road 58, where crews are using bulldozers and other equipment to pull cars and trucks out of the mud.
The flooding backed up traffic for miles. Trayvon Fair was forced to sleep in his car.
I was using my GPS and I thought I was going to be able to get through, and here I am, I'm stuck again. So,
while Interstate 5 and other highways are expected to reopen today, the area is bracing for another flash flood watch.
There are no reports of injuries or deaths. The National Weather Service says a flash flood watch will be in effect again in the evening for the mountains and deserts near LA. Well, it's Friday. You know what that means. It is time for this week's edition of The Fifth Down with John Scheidler and Kyle Logan. John and Kyle, what's going on in the Gridiron?
Neil, it's Friday. It's the Fifth Down. It's showtime, and we had some true football weather tonight in northern Michigan, Kyle.
That's right. It was cold, it was windy, and we even had some precipitation. But it doesn't stop the players, so it doesn't stop us. Make sure to stay where you are because the Fifth Down is kicking off after the break.
Thank you for joining us for the Fifth Down. There were a number of teams playing outside of the area, but we still have plenty of highlights for you.
Yeah, for the first time this year, Alcona, Alpena, and Joburg were out of the area on the same week, but we can still make do. We'll start in Whittemore, where the Hillman Tigers played the Cardinals. The Tigers took the trip south looking for their 7th win, while the Cards were trying to pick up win number 5. First drive for the Tigers, the Redbirds D stands strong. 4th and short, they hand off to Dylan Stanky, but he stops short and Whittemore takes over. A couple plays into that drive, the carry goes to big number 44, Dakota Kinney. Up the middle, dodges one man, powers through 2 more into Tigers territory. A few plays later, Kinney finishes the job to put his team up 6-zip. And with the 2, they make it 8-0. Hillman's next drive, first play, it's quarterback Billy Colcan. He takes it himself up the gut. He throws one man off of his shoulder here, and he's going to find pay dirt. The Tigers get 6, and with the 2, they tie this one up at 8 apiece. Whittemore next drive, 3rd and 23. Their quarterback, Blake Liddell, he takes off, makes a couple of nice moves, and he drags a couple of defenders down for a first down into Tigers territory. Few plays later, the Cards now inside the red zone, run the jet sweep again, so you think. Really, it's a reverse into the hands of Michael Swain. He scores. The Cardinals would take a 16-8 lead into the half, and they go on to win this one big, 38-14.
Up next is a Big Dipper battle in Oscoda, where the Rogers City Hurons took the field against the Oscoda Owls. First drive of the game, Rogers City's Quentin Kelly heaves one downfield to Matthew Altman, who will get the Hurons inside the 5-yard line. From there, tailback Gavin Vaselniak. He's going to take it around the edge, fight for some extra yards, and that's when he fumbles, but it's all good because Brendan Hart scoops it up for a Hurons touchdown. They would lead 8-0 after a 2-point conversion to the tight end Alex Hinska. After recovering an onside kick, the Hurons looking deep again. But this time, they run into trouble. Hunter Huckabee comes up with the interception for Oscoda. He'll make some moves upfield to the 40-yard line. That would set up Jacob Malik, who shows off the speed for a big touchdown. Rogers City goes for the extra point, and they cut the lead to 1. From there, it's going to be deja vu all over again. Kelly in the pocket, looking for some yards in the air. Huckabee gets his 2nd interception. He'll bring it to the 40-yard line, and guess who finishes that drive? That's right, it's Malik again. He had 5 total touchdowns in this one. The Owls get the win, 47-30, your final.
Tawas Braves were in Mayo trying to play spoiler as the Thunderbolts need wins the next 2 weeks to qualify for playoffs. The Braves offense got hot early. Quarterback Owen Irvin hands off to J.J. Howell on the jet sweep. He makes a couple of men miss, gets up the sideline, and he's headed to the house. Tawas goes up 7-0 with the extra point. Less than 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Irvin, another handoff, this time a reverse left side to Dalton Keys. He's going to cut back up the middle, blows by a couple of guys, and he bounces it back outside and uses them wheels to find pay dirt. The Braves go up 14-0. Their next drive, less than a minute later, already back in the red zone. Howell with the carry, this time up the gut. He dives across the goal line, and the Braves go up 3 possessions. Now the second quarter, same deal. Braves inside the red zone again, and this time the touch goes to Jacob Landis to Minello. He scores, and the Braves go up 27-0. But with 3 minutes left in the second quarter, they cap off a stellar half. Irwin drops back this time, and he finds Jacob Crum streaking wide open. Tawas goes up 33-0, and they go on to win big, 47-0, to clinch their second straight win.
All right, well, that's the end of the first half of the fifth down, but we still got some more action.
That is correct. We still have highlights from Petoskey where the Wildcats were looking to do something they haven't done in almost 10 years. And the Alcona Tigers played Lake City in a game that went down to the wire. Be sure to come back for those highlights and other scores coming up after halftime on the fifth down. Thanks for sticking around for the second half of the fifth down. What's up next, John?
Well, the Alpena Wildcats might have been out of the area, but we were still able to get some highlights of the Cats game in Petoskey. Alpena looking for their first win over the Northmen since 2006. In Petoskey, they're going to get to work quickly. Brent Murray scores, Northmen up 6-0. A few minutes later, Wildcats O-line will hook up their man, Brent Auger, who picks up a first down with a couple of stiff arms, but no points come out of the Alpena drive. Now 14-0 Northmen in the first quarter. Murray will shake a tackler. It's his second score of the game and a 3-score lead for Petoskey. Wildcats trying to respond. They recover this fumble by Murray, but the story is the same. Alpena turns the ball over on downs while Petoskey continues their dominance on the ground and on the scoreboard against Alpena with a 51-0 shutout. Next week, the Cats will look to bounce back at home in the final game of the season against Gaylord.
The Alcona Tigers were on the road looking for their 6th win of the season against Lake City. Trojans wasting no time getting on the board. Cade Peterson with the quick release, and he finds Lucas Marion right down the seam for the TD strike. Just over a minute in, it's 7-0 Lake City. Alcona answers right back, though, on a play so good it fakes out our cameraman. Brock Franklin taking it to the house for the Tigers. But Lake City comes right back with another score here on a quick toss, this one coming at the goal line. This game would be a shootout the rest of the way and a tight matchup going into the final minutes. But in the end, the Trojans outlast the Tigers, taking this matchup 41-34.
Now over to 8-man football. The Onaway Cardinals took care of business at home against Bel Air, winning 64-14. Bradley Brubaker led the way with 4 touchdowns. It's their 5th win of the season, meaning next week's game against Pickford is a must-win if the Cards want to make the playoffs in their first year of 8-man football. The Posen Vikings, now they already qualified for the playoffs. Their opponent Brimley had to forfeit their matchup, so Posen gets the 2-0 win. Why it's 2-0, not quite sure. They'll try to complete the perfect season next week against St. Helen Academy.
And 2 more scores on the gridiron. The Hale Eagles picked up their 2nd win of the season with a 38-12 win over Akron Fairgrove. And the Joburg Cardinals got their 6th win of the season, defeating the Forest Area Warriors 52-0. Logan Huff had 4 carries for 132 yards and 2 scores, while Brandon Huff went 5 of 8 passing for 110 yards. Up next is Indian River Inland Lakes as the Cardinals gear up for the playoffs.
Now for some hockey scores you need to know about. The Red Wings were handed their first loss of the season by the Carolina Hurricanes 5-3. Jimmy Howard was in net and allowed a goal in each period. Scoring goals for Detroit was Gustav Nyquist, Teemu Pokkanen, and Riley Sheahan. As for local hockey, the Flyers lost 6-3 to the Detroit Fighting Irish at Northern Lights Arena. Sergei Merslov scored 2 goals. Andre Fosco lit the lamp once. Those 2 will be back at it tomorrow night on the ice at 7 p.m. You know what, guys, that's not the only big game going on tomorrow. Michigan State. Let's do this really quickly. What are we going? Our guesstimates for the predictions, if you will.
Well, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to go with Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines there, John.
What do you got, Kyle?
I think Michigan State's looking for one of those statement answers. They've had a lot of close wins, especially against Rutgers, and some of those teams they probably should have beaten. I think they come out and take care of business. Michigan's defense is a little banged up.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think so many people are counting out Michigan State, forgetting that they were a top 5 team. And, I think as well as Michigan's playing, the shutout streak's going to come to an end eventually. I think, like I said, they were a top 5 team at the beginning of the season. It's their first time out of the top 5 in the polls. If there's ever a time to make a statement in the Big Ten, right, Kyle? This is the time to do it.
And really, this is that team that kind of puts themselves up on paper with Ohio State, another team just like Michigan State that has not played very well against some weaker competition. So really, whoever wins this game sets themselves very nicely up against Ohio State for that Big Ten title.
We're not just tag teaming here, Neil. We're not. We promise. This wasn't planned. This wasn't premeditated. We're just going off the script here. And let's go ahead and tell the viewers what's coming up next.
Well, thanks, John. Kyle, appreciate it. Coming up next on WBKB News, meteorologist Adam Claybaum will be back with one last look at the weather.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Starting off with a rain slow mix tomorrow morning. A slight chance of that, at least. Temperatures in those middle 40s once again. Not quite as windy, though, as we head into the afternoon, but tomorrow night, look at that temperature. 28 degrees for your overnight low. We'll see more of the 40s for highs heading into Sunday, but more sun will arrive for us. A slight chance of rain on Monday, and we'll see more of the 50s all the way through next work week.
All right, thanks, Adam. Well, it looks like it's going to be getting colder and colder these next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. The temperatures are not trending upward. They're going straight down. Kyle and I were out there along with a couple of our cameramen here. It's getting chilly out there. I know you two guys aren't experienced as much. I mean, I'm not even used to this cold weather in October, but what are our thoughts on it?
Well, I came in, a couple days ago with the beanie on, and Adam starts asking me questions like, is it really cold out there, And I said, yes. Actually, I have my heater on 80 right now as we speak in my apartment.
Yeah, really, no. Florida up until this month, I mean, it's still very hot, but it gets down to those 20s and even those teens sometimes. So I think I'm used to some of the cold, but not where it's going to go eventually. So it'll be interesting.
I'm not even used to the rain. I mean, back in California, we have a drought that's going on right now, John. So.
Right. I mean, I did bust out the hand warmers. I cheated a little bit, but I'm not planning on using my heat anytime until at least November. And now, remember, you could read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, news updates anytime, day or night.
Or add us on Facebook at facebook.com/WBKBTV.
Well, that will do it for tonight's show. Be sure to catch us tomorrow night at 11. Good night, everybody.